Welcome to the Celebration of You. I'm your host, Holly Dowling. I'm thrilled to share with you incredible people from all over the world who are living and leading extraordinary lives. From overcoming immense adversity to discovering the secret sauce to leading with courage and grace. Their stories are going to bring you hope and inspiration. Now, let the stories begin. Okay, so everybody knows. I know I get so excited, and you can already hear her giggling. It's so much fun. We are about to have this amazing, extraordinary few minutes of getting to celebrate another person. And I always tell everybody, so for all the listeners out there, you know how I feel about God and the universe and serendipity. And when you're truly open and you open your soul to whoever you're supposed to meet, you get to meet the most remarkable people. And today I have the gift and the pleasure of introducing you to somebody that came into my life a few months ago. We'll tell you more about it here in a moment. And it's just been like, we even were just talking, saying it's like we're soul sisters, that we're connected as kindred spirits or something crazy like that. So everybody, may I introduce you to the beautiful, the amazing, and the brilliant Didi Wong. Hi, darling.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on, Holly. I am so excited to talk to you and share just whatever you want me to share. I'm an open person. I am all about just being free and honest and inspiring to other people who are, maybe going through the same journey I'm going through. And I have got stuff going on. So I definitely want to be able to share that with the world.
Oh, and I have to say, okay, so I get all excited because Didi and I met. All right, let's just tell everybody. We met at the United Nations Foundation annual event for Girl Up. We're both partners of Girl Up, but we've never met.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're both out there being big proponents and champions. And then we finally get to meet. And we're like, where have you been my whole life? And yet, my darling, the thing that's fascinating is that I meet you, we have this incredible, conversations, and then I see your bio and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Didi, you have done and continue to do so many remarkable things. I don't even know where to begin. So I think where we'll start is tell us, just so everybody gets an idea of your current world. What are you doing that you're passionate about? Tell us about what you're currently doing in your world, in your life, in your businesses, anything you want to share.
So very, very currently, I'll go from literally a week ago. I just booked a feature documentary that is going to be called Impact. And it's the producer is one of the ones who created The Secret, the movie. And we've got directors from Belgium who are coming, and they're all about body language and experts in coaching. So I am thrilled to share my biggest news for you, which happened this past week, that I signed a contract to do a movie. So they are basically going to start filming on the 26th of September, which is just in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And they're going to follow me for 1 year. And
Didi, I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh. Wait, we have to stop for a minute. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sorry, I had to go. Like, I just can't stand this. This is amazing.
And you know what? Through all this goodness that's come my way, the deep thought I've had in the last week is that I've discovered who my true friends are. And, I don't want to be a downer right at a celebration, but we're talking about life. And we're talking about,
yes.
We're talking about life. We're talking about sharing the truth. Of course, I am so excited about booking the movie and being one of the stars in the movie. And this is a big deal for me. But the truth be told, my past week has been kind of struggling in my personal friendships. So, with all that, I don't know if you want me to go into it right now, or if you want to tell you about more other projects that's going on. But I'm all over the place to tell you whatever you want me to tell you. But right before I booked this movie, I did do also a TV show that is a spin-off of Shark Tank, and it's called Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch. I'm one of the 4 judges in 2 episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am seriously out there trying to help other people grow in their businesses, in their personal life. So that is actually launching on the 20th of this month on Amazon Prime, on Google Gold, YouTube Red, and entrepreneur.com. So I am just excited to share with the world what I have. And, I want to keep learning too. I'm not the expert in everything. So I really, through all this journey, I'm learning so much about myself and my surroundings and my people around me. So it's really been very exciting, but a lot of deep thinking happening in my world.
Yeah. And you know what's amazing? I mean, and everybody that listens knows. And Didi, we have listeners, I just want you to know, all over the world, in every continent. And I always say, every human being, it doesn't matter your age, what you do for a living, your education or not, we all have been put on this earth with gifts. And this show, if there's somebody you get to hear from that can give you hope and help you believe again in you and your gifts and your, the people in your life, to be there to support them and lift them up. And I had no idea, right? All of this, look at the timing of the show, that we spent a month trying to get you to be a guest on here. And now I'm so glad it didn't happen sooner because of this amazing. So where do we start? I'm going to say, let's start, because I love that you're so genuine and authentic and real. So for everybody out there, most people can't even fathom what it's like to land a movie deal and to think that they're going to be following you for a year. And the name of this, I love the name Impact, because it takes me to a story you and I will share here in a few minutes when we met. Mm-hmm. But talk to us. This is a really good thing for people to hear. What do you think's happening that this is causing issues with friendships and personal people? I think I have a feeling, but tell me what's going on inside you. What's happening?
Yeah, and I haven't quite worked it out yet because everything is so new, and I have, spoken to the close people who are in my circle. Just when a woman becomes successful or going that direction, other women in my life have been showing different, I guess, non-supportiveness. I don't know how to really describe it. It's a true emotion that I'm feeling, that I'm trying to grasp myself. So I'm feeling that some of them, I don't really love to use the word jealous, but it is also a very real human feeling, and I totally get it. And so I'm also trying to be a little lenient towards that. I have to be, thinking about what's happening in their lives, and, so perhaps their perspective is so different, or they weren't able to step into the, congratulations supportive stage for me, because they're going through a lot in their lives, so, but I was feeling it through some girlfriends, not just 1, 2, but like three special women in my life. And so I'm kind of just wondering, and trying not to judge it, but also accepting that I do have my own emotions also, and I have my feelings, and just trying to come to terms with it and see if maybe I should bring it up in a real conversation with these women, or they say that you can carry kind of dead weight in some friendships in your life. And I'm all about, people, surrounding people around you that lift you up, and not necessarily 100% of the time, because obviously life is up and down, right? So I'm really trying to understand if these women whom I'm surprised that they're not so excited for me, are they going through some things in their lives, or are they kind of just stepping back and saying, oh, she's going somewhere and I'm not, and comparing and putting some bad energy into it. So I'm just really trying to learn myself, So that's where I'm at.
And I love and I just want you to know, I love you being so honest and just being so real right now. And I think for anybody that's out there that's listening, Didi, I think that there's a beautiful lesson right now. There's something that, and I know we've just gotten to know each other, but one of the things that I'm very passionate about and I share over and over, it doesn't matter who, whether it's one-on-one or on stage, is that you have to be really intentional about the people that you spend your most time with. And I always tell people, I know that in their professional life, you may not always have control over that, but in your personal, you do. And I said, sometimes it's a hard thing to have to let go of friendships or people in our life. But if people are becoming I always call them emotional vampires. There's a lot of people that will suck the life out of us, and we're always there to benefit them. But you find out many times through things like this, like who's really there to celebrate you, right? And the one thing that was coming over me as I was listening to you, and I just feel like since we're kindred spirits, the greatest gift that you can give the world right now and yourself is a non-apologetic space. You've done nothing to apologize for. And as a matter of fact, knowing you and the person you are, the reason you're so successful is because you've been a giver your whole life. And if people could hear your resume and all the things you've done, you've continued to put yourself out there and find ways to give to the universe. And this is the universe giving back. And many times it also helps flush things out. So I don't know what that means, but please, please do not take an apologetic space right now. You get to own where you are, and maybe they'll get to be a part of this journey. If you're going to be followed for a year, these are your close friends. Maybe they'll end up being part of one of these documentary moments, right? And there could be a blessing in disguise in this whole thing that nobody knows about yet.
Yeah, and I'm all about blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. As when we met, right? Well, this is so exciting. And it all makes sense that you were just a guest on I love the version of the Shark Tank, the entrepreneur, did you say Elevate? Pitch?
Elevator pitch. Yeah. Elevator. They go into the elevator and they have 60 seconds to pitch their idea to 4 judges. And if we like the idea and think we would like to invest, we send them up. And if we don't, we send them down.
Oh, and so you got to do 2 episodes. Is that right?
I got to do, yep. So, and the good thing about this show is a little bit different to Shark Tank. Shark Tank has, each shark actually tries to get the deal, and they kind of argue and banter back and forth about who can do better, but this one, all 4 judges actually have to agree to invest together in the deal. So it makes it even more exciting.
Oh, I love that. There's something really cool about that. Okay, I got to make sure I'm watching this. I want everybody to watch this because let's face it, there's so many great people. And this is what takes me to where I want you to take us down the path. You are a huge philanthropist. You're an angel investor. You've made it a passion of your life to find ways to give back and invest. But take us from the beginning. I want to go to a pivotal moment maybe it was in your childhood or as a young woman, being all the moves you've made. But tell us about a really early pivotal moment for you that you believe has shaped your life for who you've become today.
Well, I have 2. One, when I was probably only 7 before I went to school in England. I went when I was 9. So it was before that. And I was 7 with my cousins, and we're all girls. I have 2 sisters. My 2 closest cousins back then are also 2 girls. So we formed a girls club, which is just so much like Girl Up. We formed a girls club. And we started making just using strings to make bracelets. And I remembered the pivotal moment is basically when we all made a bunch of them, probably about 12 of them. And just whenever my parents had dinner parties or had friends over, we would go to aunts and uncles. We call them aunts and uncles, no matter if they're real aunts and uncles or not, to ask for, would you buy this to support our club? So that was really my very first business moment. And I remembered right away, it was a positive experience, and that I found the meaning in doing the work, which is making the bracelets, taking the time to actually do the work, making the product, and then actually, being able to be creative, which is also part of my passion. Just picking the colors, as simple as it is. Back as it was back then, I did get to pick my colors, do my bracelets, and then go and sell it to the aunts and uncles, and did very well. We made great money, and then we would go and buy ice cream. So that was a very pivotal moment for me, business wise, as an entrepreneur. And then and then I jump, several years later, when I was 15, I was in a boarding school in England, and I was vying for a music scholarship. My sister got a full-term scholarship academically, and my younger sister, also very bright, who ended up getting a music scholarship. But I was the only one who didn't make the scholarship, and it was literally one of two people at the end. It was me and this other girl. And I know I have my musical talent. I was confident, and I was doing everything I could to try and get the scholarship, because my older sister got one, and I wanted to do that for my parents. And also, I'm a hardworking Chinese student. I'm just so Chinese in that ways. I am a very good student. Whenever I start to learn something, I really focus and I take really good notes. And so anyway, back then, when I was 15, I didn't get the scholarship. It was probably the most pivotal moment in my life that I think back, that I didn't get what I want. And, the teacher actually came in to tell me, this other girl who is just as good as you guys were totally on the same, the same talent. But the thing is, she really needs the money. Like, her family is really in need of the scholarship. So we decided to give it to her. This was a private conversation after the fact, because I was so close to the director of music at my school, and him and I were almost kind of like really good friends, rather than just teacher student. And this is way after I left the school, by the way. He didn't tell me right away.
Okay. So this didn't.
But I left.
I
left the school wondering why I didn't get the scholarship. But then we kept in touch, and then he told me. So he didn't violate any school rules or anything. But he did tell me, and I kind of was contemplating that conversation. So, okay, I didn't get it because I wasn't in need of the scholarship, rather than it wasn't to do with my talent. So I don't know. It was a complicated matter for a 15-year-old to consume.
Absolutely.
But thinking back, those were definitely my pivotal moments. I had a positive experience when I was young with the bracelets, and, as a young entrepreneur, and then as a 15-year-old who worked really, really, really hard to get the scholarship. I didn't get it. So it was a good success and failure experience, I guess.
And what's fascinating, though, Didi, look at the early on career. You've done so much. You went on to be a director at the New York City Ballet. You went on to do public relations for huge studios. You've worked with all kinds of celebrities in the music industry. So isn't it interesting that your gifts and talents, and then your brilliance in mind and business savvy, ended up taking you down that path? Tell us about that path. You had some fun things you've done. This is exciting.
I did. I just want to correct things. I wasn't the director of New York City Ballet, but I was the director of Pier 59 Studios for the public relations. But I did get to meet so many amazing just people out there at a young age. And, but I was also at a place where I was working for them. And early on, I think I was only 25, and I decided, you know what, I don't want to be working for anybody. I remember that feeling so well. And this is a pivotal moment.
Yes.
I was working for Joaquin Phoenix at that point. He was having a photo shoot. His people, his entourage called me in advance and said, he's coming in like 30 minutes. We need a tofu sandwich for him because he's a vegan. I didn't have anybody around me who could run to get him a tofu sandwich. But so I, as a director, had to just, you know what, I'll do this. It's no problem. I jumped into a yellow cab in New York City, went all the way from the west side to the east side to this one particular place they needed me to buy this tofu sandwich. And in the car, in the taxi, that was my ding dong, bingo moment when I said, I am not doing this again because I am not stressing myself out to get in a yellow cab on a busy New York street,
having the best
in a
visual.
heat, right?
Yes.
And trying to fight for a cab because I only had 30 minutes, right? Going all the way to East Side, so from 11th Avenue all the way to 2nd Avenue. And the traffic in New York City is crazy. So I was really stressing in the car, like literally. And then I promised myself I am not going to ever do this again for any celebrity. And so at that point, I thought about my path and I was like, you know what, even though I have an amazing job, I'm making good money, I'm young, I came to America because I wanted to be on Broadway. So I'm going to go and follow my dream. So I quit the job.
Good.
Soon after, and I was just, I wasn't sick of dealing with them. I just decided this was not my path. It wasn't like a negative thing that, I don't want to do this ever again and bye bye everybody. It was a very nice, amicable breakup. So I just told them that I feel like, my path was different and I wanted to go on broad. I wanted to perform. That was really where my heart was. So I did go back into auditioning right after I quit the job and it became a receptionist. A kind of reservationist, actually, at a Chinese restaurant. That was my path. So from a director of public relations at a very high-end studio, imagine I was working with Patrick de Marchelier, Mario Testino. I was working with the top Italian Vogue, Elle, all of those photographers, and Madonna and Jennifer Lopez and all of that, to suddenly going into becoming a reservationist at a Chinese restaurant, basically stuck in a hole, talking on the phone, just, hello, this is Didi at 66, restaurant 66. How can I help you? So it was a big moment for me to be able to step down and not look at my ego and, have a supervisor on top of me talking about, no, you shouldn't give them a table at 7:30, it should be 7:15, and giving me crap about little things, when I just came from being a director. So, those are all life lessons. And, but I followed my dream. I did, several times when I haven't made it as well as I have now, I did think about, should I have left that wonderful job? There's always thoughts that happens obviously in people's lives. And I did think, if I had continued, where would I be now? But I'm not regretful of anything that I've done. And I'm really happy with what I decided to do. And I was proud to be confident enough to just leave a job like that. And follow my heart.
I just love that. And you know what? That's why today, if you think about the life, and by the way, everybody, by the way category, she's a mother of 4. She has twins that are like 2.
Yes.
So it's not like, she's just choosing this life path of a career. And I have to say, Didi, to be around you, the greatest gift you give this world, and I wrote it down when I was thinking about our interview today, and I could show you, I'll take a picture. I have written down, how do you do it with such ease and grace? That's who you are. That's how you show up.
I tell you, I get that question literally on the daily with everybody I meet who knows my situation. And I literally tell them, I don't think about it. If you analyze it too much, it will that will waste your energy, waste your brain power. I just don't think about it. I literally know I'm a student of my calendar. I know what I need to do every, within a week. I'm very good with my organization and schedule and planning. And I make sure I am there for my children. So I'll give you a very good example of today.
Yes, please.
So
I love it.
Today.
Okay. You live in LA now, but let's make sure people know you live in LA. Yep.
I did not sleep from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. because I just have so much on my brain. And I had my twins are teething for the second time. So one of them were crying. So I had to take care of her. my second daughter ran out of the room because she heard the baby cry. She was like, I want to be with mommy. I want to be. So then we all ended up on the couch because I was just too tired to try and get them back into their own beds. And then my son suddenly woke up in the middle of the night at 3, walking out to the living room where I was sleeping. And I heard his little steps because I was up. And I was like, Jean-Pierre, are you okay? And his mommy, I just want to sleep with you. So, of course,
I just love this.
Meanwhile, my husband gets the whole bed to himself in the nice bedroom. And I'm on the couch, like sleeping in between the sofas and in the gaps. And, I got one twin on my left, a Jojo on my right, and Jean-Pierre to the right of Jojo. I have a big couch. So luckily we all had some space. Okay, so that's my beginning of my day. And then I woke up at 7 because my babysitter comes at 6:50. And I wake Jean-Pierre up to get him dressed for school. Today is mass day, so he has to wear a certain uniform. So those are always on my brain every day, because Tuesdays and Fridays he have to be in PE outfit, and Mondays and Wednesday he had to be in mass. So this is all organization in my head.
Yes,
when I wake up. So then I have that with Jean-Pierre. Wake him up. I said, okay, you have 20 minutes to get dressed, wash your face, wash your hands, brush your teeth. He doesn't like to eat breakfast right before he goes to school. So we skip breakfast. I actually was brought up that way too. And I'm fine with that. And then he goes, I drive him to school, drop him off at 7:45, come back, take care of my Jojo getting all dressed, get her hair done. Meanwhile, the babysitter is taking care of the twins, feeding them breakfast. So I take Jojo with me. I make sure I'm in my workout outfit because I know right after I have to go to my Orange Theory fitness class. So I signed up for that. So then I take Jojo to school, mingle and with the teacher a little bit because it's only her second week of school, talk to them, see how she's doing. She's doing great. I leave. I go to my fitness class, which is what keeps me sane. So I go check my emails quickly before I step into class, make sure everything. And at the same time, I am renovating a $4,000 square foot house. So I'm also trying to talk to contractors and talk to tile lady. So I'm constantly just quickly checking emails, answering people so they don't think I've disappeared. I go into my class, do a great workout. I lost 647 calories today in my class, and then come out, check my email again, sat in my car, probably for 45 minutes, answering to my team, everybody who needs some answers from me today. And then I came home, showered, and then got ready for you. So that's so far my morning. And then right after you, I have a meeting about my events with an influencer. And then after that, I am picking up Jean-Pierre, picking up Jojo and taking Jean-Pierre to swimming lesson. And then my day starts to die down. And I'm constantly on my phone, just doing business wherever I go. Obviously not when I'm driving, but when I
love that you added that in. Yes. And yet listen to your energy. And you know what? I want people to hear this. Like, yes, you've mastered the art of, and by the way, just to let everybody know, we haven't even talked about the other business that she has, which she's a master practitioner of integrative wellness and life coaching. So you've mastered the ability to truly live a fulfilling life. Wellness is number one important to you. You help others. You're always about people, but think about all that you just shared, and you do it with such energy and passion. And I love how you said, you just don't think about it. You just do it. And you aren't compromising the time to be with your children. Like you're making sure. And Didi, can I just say thank you as a mother? Well, now I'm a grandmother, so my kids are grown and gone.
Oh, wow. You're too young to be a grandmother.
Keep going. That sounded really good.
Wow, that's amazing. How old is your grandchild?
He's 5. And
wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
He's the love of my life. But I mean, I'm listening to you going, I remember those days, right? Like when my kids were young and yet, you've made a choice. You guys have figured out how to be a team. You've made a choice. You know what it takes. But I want people to hear this. This is while running a multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar interior design company that's around the world, having an event company, getting ready to be on a documentary for the next year of your life. I mean, it's like, okay, all of this, and you still have passion in your voice. And I love that.
Oh, thank you. I do just love to be positive and happy. Whenever people ask me to describe myself, happy is always the first word. And I probably will continue that with positive, because I really am that way, sometimes to a fault, to be honest with you. Sometimes my husband tells me, don't get so excited yet, and don't show your excitement, when we go and, into houses and open houses, and then we're looking for a house, just an example. It's like, put a poker face on. I can't. I'm always smiling.
I know. And why would you not smile for the world? It's joy. You're like, I'm sorry, sweetie, but then I'll blow it for us, but I'm not going to stop smiling.
Exactly. I could be smiling about something else, not just how beautiful the house is. I wouldn't be good at poker. I'll tell you that.
Well, I have to agree. You and I would never make it because we're both, and that's when we met. So I'm going to keep going in different directions because I want to tie all this back up.
Yes.
We met when we were at the event in July in DC for Girl Up.
Yes.
And there was a really magical moment, and I want you to share it because I'll never forget. I was leading a breakout session, and all of the partners and leaders that were there could come, and, we rotated. They could go through all the different sessions. And the title of it was Shattering the Glass Ceiling. And in that moment, and I remember looking at you, Didi, because I basically got really honest with people. And I said, I think for me, the shattering the glass ceiling concept, and I know what it means traditionally, but to me, it was always about learning how to walk on broken glass and not let it show and not bleed. Because my life has been about, a lot of my journey has been how to circumvent some really dark situations, right? And still come out, never feeling it's woe is me. I always want to be wow is me. And you and I were having a moment, and you looked at me and we got really emotional, but you said something about growing up your whole life the way you understood shattering the glass ceiling. Do you remember that moment?
I do remember that moment, but I can't remember exactly what I said because it was in such a moment. I just remembered that I understand shattering the glass ceiling differently to what it really means in America. So when you were asking the group to share what it means, I remember thinking, oh no, I totally just sounded so dumb because what I just said was totally not what it's meant to be, what it's meant to be. So then when you went around and I heard other people say, oh, shoot, that's totally different to what I just said. So then I was like pondering. I was like, well, I've actually never heard that term before, but it was just something that I, perceived differently. And I get that all the time because I grew up in England, and so some of the American terms, people laugh at me, and it's a cute thing, is, not negatively laughing at me, but I'm just like, oh, okay, that's great. See, I'm learning every single day.
Well, and it was really, that was what the point was, is that I just wanted everybody to, threw it out there. Like, what do you think of when you think of this? And it was fascinating, wasn't it? How diverse everybody's comments were of what is that really? It's such a cliche, and yet let's talk about it. What does that mean? And I think it came more from the Chinese background because you said something, and it was more about, living in what was it? Oh, Didi, it was so profound.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I do remember I shared with you that I shattered my glass ceiling because I fought for my love for my husband. And it was like, I visually imagine it like I'm breaking through glass and I'm, not letting the strong glass, inhibit me from going through. So I'm breaking through this glass ceiling to look into the other side. And I did it kind of feeling, and so what I shared, I think in the few minutes I was allowed, that my parents brought me up, to marry a Chinese man. It was something that I was meant to do, because it's the right for the culture, and from my status, my family status in Hong Kong, and it was a very bad thing that I did not marry a Chinese man. So I shattered the glass ceiling because I stuck to my guns, and I was disobedient in a way. And breaking through traditions to really achieve what I truly feel was, the love of my life, marrying Michael. So, and he is half Spanish, just so for the listeners to have an understanding. Michael is half Spanish from Madrid and half Haitian from Haiti. So he's black and white and beautiful man, very handsome, very, tall, dark, and handsome. I was very lucky to have found him. But it was, although he does have all these great qualities, it was still not good enough for my parents, and I'm sure everyone goes through this as a woman of different races, different religions, whatever. This is not something that is such an alien topic. I mean, I really love sharing the story because I really did fight to keep Michael with me. And here we are, we're celebrating 14 years this year, and we have 4 children, and actually we're going to be renewing our vows next year. And so.
Oh, I love it. Yes. And I remember that is the story that you shared. That's what it was. Yes. Yeah.
See, I never had a proper wedding. So I really we did everything backwards, so I wanted to really, and I'm so close to my dad. My dream would be for him to walk me down the aisle and actually give permission for me to go over to Michael's side, and have him be my husband, even though it's been 14 years, but I still am traditional in that way because, I am Chinese 100%. And I do want to experience that from my dad handing me over to my husband, so that's what we're going to do next year.
Oh, your father's going to do it? We're all in?
Yep.
Oh, yay. Oh, yay. See, this whole timing of this documentary, Impact, look at the impact you guys are going to make next year.
Yeah, you'll definitely see that on the movie because that is definitely a story I would be very excited to share with the world because I think love is worth fighting for.
And you know what you just said? I have goosebumps, but love transcends the globe. It transcends race. It transcends everything. It's like love is love, and this world needs more love, and we need to be given permission to love. And if we don't get it from the world, give it to yourself. Because you only have one life to live on this planet. And
I love you, Holly. Like all your words are just such wise words. And, sometimes it may come freely to us, but other people like really, really need to hear this. And I, for one, of course I know what you're saying, but when you say it out loud and I hear it again and I'm just like, you know what? It is so true. And I love hearing it from your voice because you have such a beautiful voice. And the way you talk is just so loving.
Oh, Didi, thank you.
You're all about love. You're all about just giving good, positive vibes. And that's probably why we are just in the same bubble.
Well, it's back to being open to whoever, wherever your soul is supposed to be and being open to just what this gift of this life is about. And, we've all been through our stuff, right? But it's not, using that as a crutch or as an excuse. It's about choosing to continue. I choose everyday love. I choose joy and I choose love, Didi. So thank you for what you just said. And that is why when we met, it was like, we were just talking, we have to tell everybody, Didi had to leave right at the event because she had to catch a flight back to LA. And she came over to say goodbye. And we were just having this like moment. We couldn't stop talking. And then somebody came to try to interrupt us and said, whatever they needed. And we were like, no, we're not done talking.
But you actually told me, you know what, don't tell me anymore because I want to learn more. And you just gave me your card. I'm like, okay, we're going to be in contact. And then that's when we left. And I was like, I promise you we'll be in contact and we'll talk and we'll talk and we'll talk.
And I just love how everything has organically manifested that we are talking now and you just got this movie deal. So as we wrap this up, I have one thing that I love to ask my guests and you have no idea that I'm going to ask you this. So,
no,
it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
So if you were to go back, and I'm going to say 25-year-old self, who you were at 25. And if you were to give that young woman advice based on what you know today and who you are today, what advice would you give her?
I would say keep working hard, go with the flow, send whatever you want to achieve out there to the universe because truly it will come back to you.
And as to why you are now, as we end this, I want you to tell us all about impact, this movie. What do you know about this? What is this going to be? What is the outcome of this? What are they wanting to shine and show from your life? Tell us.
So, one of my dreams on my bucket list, I guess, would be I want to be a motivational speaker. So, I really feel like I can make, no pun intended, an impact, on my audience wherever I speak. So I would, and I'm not, I've had a bit of training in acting and a little bit of training on stage, but it's very, very frightening to stand on a stage, to talk to 100, 1,000, millions of people. So they're actually going to go through the 1 year journey for me to learn how to become a motivational public speaker. And so this is the role I'm taking, and they're going to obviously follow me through my businesses. And my social spotlight events business also requires a lot of public speaking, and I like doing wellness events as well, so that would require some public speaking. So they're going to really right away when I shoot on the 26th, they're going to put me in an event to speak. And they're probably going to see how bad I am because they need to know the beginning. And then throughout the process, they're going to show how through coaching, because I'll be coaching with 8 world life coaches, financial coaches, life coaches, psychologists, different coaches of different kinds, 8 of them. Throughout the whole year, I'll be getting private coaching from them, which I'm so lucky to have, and see how successful I become as a public speaker from day one to, next end of September. So you'll probably see me shine on stage at some point, talking to maybe at the beginning 20 people and then to 100 people. I don't know exactly what they have in mind, but I'm envisioning probably at the very end of it, I'll probably be standing on stage talking to thousands of people. So, I am so nervous, just even saying that, but I'm going to challenge myself. I know I have something to share. So I will find my way to decide what kind of motivational speaker I would want to be. And that's where I really want to land at the end of this movie.
Love this. And I had no idea. And you realize you know what I do. I'm all over the world as an inspirational speaker. So I need to be on your team. Why am I not a coach? I coach people, Didi, all over the world. I literally coach on presenting and speaking. And I would love to be on your team of coaches because it's a passion of mine. And I don't even want to give it away. I go completely in a different direction. I flip it on its head when I coach people because most people come from one train of thought when it comes to being a speaker, and I come from a completely different approach. And I could go on and on about this, but if I can do anything to support you, this is what I do all over the world. And I always say I'm a messenger of things.
I love that. And Holly, you are totally already on my list. So I will definitely keep in touch with you and let you know how it all goes. And at any point, I'm all about trying to bring in my peeps. Yes. And so any opportunity I get, I'm always trying to get my friends or my acquaintances or people I know. I'm a public relations girl,
yes,
so I'm
are.
always trying to connect people. Yeah, seriously. So you're totally in my thoughts, and as I know more about the movie, I will definitely keep you posted.
Well, I am going to be there to cheer you on and support you because from the moment we met, you have a beautiful energy. For everybody listening, you can hear it through the phone. And as I wrap this up, I just want you all to know to learn more about Didi, go to didiwong.com and all of the artwork, and there'll be a blog with all the links and how people can reach out to you. And I just want to say thank you to my new kindred soul sister. Thank you, Didi, for sharing your spirit with us today.
Thanks so much, Holly.
Thank you, darling. Thank you for joining me for another awesome celebration of you. If you were inspired by this story, please share it with your family and friends and hashtag Your Story Matters. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment on iTunes. And absolutely, please come to my website, hollydowling.com. Leave a comment there too, and while you're there, pick up your free gift. Most importantly, though, just remember that your life is a gift from God. What you do with it is your gift back.